Matthew 14 contains one of the most unforgettable moments in the New Testament, the night Jesus walked on the water. The story begins just after Jesus had performed the miracle of feeding the 5,000. The crowd was amazed, but Jesus dismissed them and sent his disciples ahead by boat, while he went up on a mountainside to pray alone. This is important. Even Jesus, the Son of God, sought time with his Father before facing challenges. Meanwhile, the disciples were in the boat, crossing the Sea of Galilee. As night fell, the wind picked up, and the waves began to pound against them. They rowed hard, struggling against the storm, their strength fading with every push of the oars. Hours passed. It was now the fourth watch of the night. Between 3 and 6 a.m., the darkest, most exhausting time, then something extraordinary happened. Through the mist and crashing waves, they saw a figure walking toward them on the water. At first, they panicked, thinking it was a ghost. Fear gripped their hearts. But then they heard a familiar voice cutting through the storm. "Take courage. It is I, do not be afraid." It was Jesus. At that moment, Peter's boldness surged. He called out, "Lord, if it is really you, tell me to come to you on the water." And Jesus replied with one simple word, "Come." Think about that moment. The boat represented safety, logic, and control. Everything Peter knew about the world told him to stay inside, but faith pushed him to step out. And with his eyes fixed on Jesus, Peter did what no other human has done. He walked on water. But then came the test. The wind howled louder. The waves crashed higher. Peter shifted his eyes from Jesus to the storm. Doubt crept in. Fear rose. And in that instant, he began to sink. Desperate, he cried out, "Lord, save me." Immediately, not after a pause. Not with hesitation, immediately. Jesus reached out his hand and caught him. And he said, "You of little faith, why did you doubt?" This question is not a rebuke of Peter's attempt. After all, Peter was the only disciple who had the courage to step out of the boat. Instead, it was a gentle reminder that faith is not about never sinking it. It's about where we place our eyes when the waves rise. When they both climbed back into the boat, the wind died down, the sea became calm, and the disciples, overwhelmed, worshipped him, saying, "Truly, you are the Son of God." This story is more than just a miracle, it's a picture of the Christian walk. The boat represents our comfort zone, the place where we feel safe. But growth, breakthroughs, and miracles happen when we step out in faith. Peter's failure wasn't that he sank, it was that he stopped looking at Jesus. The storm itself had no power over him as long as his eyes were fixed on the Savior. And that's the same for us. Life is full of storms, financial struggles, broken relationships, fear of the future, doubt in ourselves. If we focus on those, we will feel overwhelmed. But if we keep our focus on Christ, we will walk through what seems impossible. There's another lesson here too. When Peter began to sink, he didn't try to swim back to the boat. He cried out, "Lord, save me." Sometimes we try to fix everything ourselves before calling on God, but Peter teaches us the shortest, most powerful prayer we can pray: "Lord, save me." And Jesus always responds. So, what does this mean for us today? It means storms will come, they always do. But storms are not the end of the story. In fact, sometimes storms are the very stage where Jesus reveals his power most clearly. When fear tells you to stay in the boat, faith whispers, "Step out." And when you stumble, his hand is already reaching for you. The next time life feels overwhelming, remember this scene. The waves are loud, the wind is strong, but the voice of Jesus is stronger. Take courage. It is I, do not be afraid. Keep your eyes on him, and you will find that even in the middle of the storm, you can walk on water.